Hello everyone, my name is Angel and welcome to another episode of Adulting with Angel. In today's episode, I really want to talk about setting goals and ways to set ourselves up for success in the future. The biggest thing that I've learned when it comes to setting goals is that you don't necessarily need to know where you're going in order to get started. You have to understand that you have to start before you're ready. If everybody waited until the perfect moment to start something, nothing would ever get done. And that is the most important thing that I want you guys to take away from this video. There's always things that you can do to strengthen your resume, to save money, to create the life you've always wanted. Don't wait until you're ready, because at that point, honestly, it's probably going to be too late. You don't have to give up your day job to pursue your goals, but there needs to be a balance in there someplace. Point number one, the best tip I can give you in life is to fake it until you make it. You don't have to have everything figured out, but you just have to pretend that you know what you're doing. When you have the confidence in yourself to make everything look seamless and to have everything go the way that you want it to go, that's success. I feel like the biggest struggle that a lot of transitionary age people, for example, college to adulthood individuals face, is the pressure of not knowing what you want to do. And when you don't know what you want to do, your anxious energy penetrates into everyone around you, and it starts to make it seem like you don't really have your shit together. The biggest thing I think we all need to recognize is that this is your life. So if you do your dream job and you hate it, it's okay. It's okay. You could do something else. It's not the end of the world. But you did something you're passionate about, and now you're doing something else. Just remember, you're allowed to change it up. Allowed to switch things up. It's all good. The second most important thing I could say to you guys is make sure that you set yourself up for success by building things along the way. Perfect example of this could be networking, building your portfolio, building your resume, volunteering, internships, degrees, work experience. All these things are building steps towards the right direction. So if I wanted to be a doctor, obviously I'd go to undergrad, I'd go to medical school, I'd do all the steps that it took to be a doctor. You don't just become a doctor. So for me, I started networking when I was an undergrad, and when I went to graduate school, I started networking with people that are in my field and asking them, how did you get to your job? I want to get to your position. What should I do to get there? And there's nothing wrong with asking for help. There's nothing wrong with asking questions and meeting people and having coffee and just learning as much as you can. I've never reached out to someone, I've never met anybody who is trying to gatekeep life. And I think a really big thing you guys need to notice is that there's enough space for all of us. And that's a really big point with YouTube, content creation, really with life as it is. Everything is oversaturated, but it doesn't have you. So remember that whatever your past is, you can always change it and you can always create the life that you want. So just put the building blocks in place. You don't have to full send anything, just baby steps, you know, one day at a time. Take it easy. All right, so the next 5 things I want to share with you is going to be very basic knowledge that I've accumulated and I'm sure learned in school over the years, but I'm going to try to explain it to you in the most helpful way possible. When it comes to setting your goals, you need to be very specific about what it is that you want to achieve. Perfect example for this YouTube channel, I really wanted to create a niche for 20-somethings or young adults or just adults in general to come and find a safe place where they could ask questions and get the answers for this transitional period of their life. Because the goals I have are so specific and so niche focused, it makes it very easy for me to track my success. When it comes to tracking your growth, it is so important to know where you've been and where you're going when you're trying to be successful. Give yourself time to see results. So for my YouTube channel, before I launched, I had about 3 months worth of content planned out. So I knew, okay, by the time I get to April 1st, this is the kind of results, this is the kind of goals I have in mind to achieve by this point. I think a really big misconception now, especially with people blowing up overnight, is that everyone blows up overnight. That's great. If it happens for me, I'll be grateful. I'll be grateful. Blow me up overnight. Oh, well, that could go 2 ways. Even if you're opening your own business, if you're, you know, whatever you're doing. I don't know what people do. I only know what I'm doing. I kind of like to mind my own business. But I hope you get what I'm saying. Another tip I have for you guys is to make sure that your goals are attainable and something that you personally can achieve. A lot of times we like to dream big and dream outside the box, which is really great. Keep that. Do you. But remember, you gotta start somewhere, okay? You gotta start small. And just because something might be achievable for me, it doesn't mean it might be achievable for you. So a really big basic example I can give you guys is college. Sometimes you have to have a college degree to get a job. If you don't have a college degree, you're probably not going to get the job. It's unfortunate, it's unfair, but it's just realistic. A lot of things go into making a successful career, and education, yes, is one of them, but you can also work around it. So just make sure you're being, you're asking yourself the real questions. But one of my goals for my YouTube channel this year, or at least in the next 3 months, is to get to a monetizable platform. So I want to be able to make a side hustle off of helping people and doing what I'm passionate about, as well as working my 40-hour job that I love and I'm passionate about as well. So for me, I had to say, okay, what do I need to put into place to make that an achievable goal? It's gonna be hard. It's not gonna happen overnight, but is it possible for me to achieve? I've done it once, so I believe I can do it again. Another really, really big thing, guys, it is one thing to dream it, it's another thing to do it. So make sure that you believe in yourself. That, I feel like, is something that goes without credit. A lot of times people talk down on themselves the most. I feel like we are our biggest critics. Remember that this is your life, and if you're not gassing yourself up, if you don't believe in your ideas, no one else will. So just keep that in mind. It's really important to believe in yourself, but also make sure that it's something that you can achieve. Something that is not an attainable goal for me this year is getting a Porsche. I might want one. I might think I can afford one, but it's probably not gonna happen unless something major changes. Okay. Building off of that, you need to be realistic about your goals. So once you recognize how you're gonna achieve something, you need to make sure that you can actually do it. It's something that is tangible for you to achieve. I think a really big thing that I get on people a lot about is be able to explain your goals to other people logically. So I remember when I was telling my, family that I wanted to make this channel, I wanted to start giving advice, I wanted to start, doing this, they were like, oh, and I was like, actually, this is what I'm gonna do. This is the game plan I have for it. This is the topics I want to talk about. And I told them, I was like, listen, this is what I'm gonna do. You don't gotta be about it, but I'm about it. And then another thing that I feel like people really forget when it comes to achieving goals and achieving major life changes is recognize what you can achieve by yourself and what you need help to do. A lot of times people want to do everything themselves in their business. Perfect example is my sister. I've been helping her with her business, and I told her, I'm like, sis, you can't do everything yourself. You need to let the people in to help you with things that you can't do. I can't do everything myself. And even though I might think I'm the smartest person ever, I do think that. It's just not true. Once your goal becomes something big, so let's say you want to open a business, is that something that you can afford to do by yourself? Do you need sponsors? Do you need investors? Like, how can you achieve your goal? There's nothing wrong with asking for help. There's nothing wrong with recognizing that you can't do it all yourself. Remember that. It will save you so much time and heartbreak when you can recognize that you can ask people for help. Now, don't ask everybody. We've talked about this. I say this, and I mean this with my whole heart. Give yourself a deadline, because if it's me, I'm gonna procrastinate. And I have a good feeling you are too. When you give yourself a time frame to get things done, that is when you start taking things seriously. For example, filming this video, I said, ooh, my video needs to go up tomorrow and it has not been filmed. Sit yourself down, get your makeup done, and film your video so you have time to edit it. I feel like for a lot of people, time is very overwhelming and we never really know what we plan to achieve. When I graduated from undergrad, I was 20 years old, COVID-19 was taking over the world, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. And when I tell y'all, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I did know for a fact it was not gonna be psychology. So now I have this bachelor's degree in psychology and I'm thinking, great, I don't even really like psychology. What am I gonna do with this? Freaking out, mental breakdown, and COVID was not helping with the job crisis. When I graduated, I decided that I wanted to do a year's service with the AmeriCorps. So for me, that was probably the best decision I could have made out of college because I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I needed to do something, but like I didn't know what that something was. When I was 15, I didn't know I was gonna study psychology in undergrad. When I was in undergrad, I thought I wanted to be a psychologist, and psych, that did not happen. Probably for the best for anybody who would have been in my practice. Me being a psychologist was probably just not the move. So, moral of the story, I never really knew what I wanted to do. I just kind of went with what I was passionate about. And not everybody can afford to go to college, and that's totally fine. If you want to do a job that you're passionate about. I was a swim coach. I really enjoyed doing that. I worked at restaurants. I worked for marketing brands, just doing things that I enjoyed, making connections along the way. And that is a very important thing when it comes to setting goals, is making connections and just meeting as many new people as possible. This will help you create a base and a network of people that you can reach out to once you figure out what you want to do. It's life, and as I've said before, there's no right or wrong way to do anything, so just start somewhere. Pick something that you're interested in. If you hate it, you can always leave. Your time is very precious. Your time is something that you cannot get back. Do not play with it. Do not give it to anybody, and do not waste it. It is very valuable. You never know how much time you have left on this planet, so be mindful. That is very important to me. I have a very interesting relationship with time, and I believe that you can achieve anything you want to do if you give yourself a deadline to get it done. Just try it with anything. Just try it. Test it. See if I'm right. I am so grateful that you guys tuned in to yet another one of my chit chat sessions. This week's journal prompt I have for you is going to be, what has stopped you from achieving your goals in the past, and what will you do differently to accomplish them in the future? So with that being said, what is something that you started up before and you quote unquote failed, or something that you gave up on before it really took off? So something a little I've been getting into recently is the angel numbers. I don't know why, but when I was planning these videos, I worked very hard to like coordinate them with angel numbers. I don't know. Take it with a grain of salt, but this is the second episode, and 222 signifies a new beginning. So I'm hoping by you guys setting goals, you're able to create a new beginning for yourself. It's never too late. There's always time. There's always new ideas, new ways to do things, new innovative and unique ways to go about living life. I never want anybody to feel like they're trapped in a life that they don't love. A goal of mine is really to just achieve the things that I've always wanted to do. I feel like I am really the only person holding myself back, and I don't like that, so I'm changing it. So that's a little sneak peek into my business. Mind your own, but I'll share a little bit of my business every now and then with y'all. I look so cute. I had such a great time filming today.